old Mercedes sat untouched for years, but today we're giving it
这
a
发动机
second life. It hadn't run in years. The tires were low, the paint dull, and the chrome barely glimmered under layers of grime. But somehow, beneath the dust and rust, the car still had a soul. You could feel it, and he knew he had to save it. It started with a phone call. A quiet tip from a friend in Jiangsu led him to an old barn on the outskirts of town, where an aging Mercedes, covered in dust and time, sat frozen in place. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the creak of the barn doors swinging open to reveal a long-forgotten gem. A vintage Mercedes W123, neglected but not yet defeated. After a bit of negotiation and back and forth with the owner, the deal was sealed for just over 10,000 yuan. No one else seemed to believe in the car, but he did. He saw more than a broken machine. He saw a story waiting to be told. Back at his garage, he rolled it off the truck like welcoming home an old friend. The odometer? Just over 70,000 kilometers. For a car that old, it was a miracle, a heartbeat beneath the rust. And so began the revival. Step 1. Spark plugs. The originals were brittle, crusted from years of neglect. He replaced them all. Then came the air filter, clogged and useless. Out it went, replaced with a fresh one, pre-oiled to ease the engine's first breath. A brand new battery clicked into place. He checked the engine oil, murky but not disastrous. It'd do for a first start. A small funnel of gasoline down the carburetor and boom. The engine roared to life. The sound wasn't smooth, it growled, it coughed, but it was alive, and that was all that mattered. He smiled like a kid seeing his favorite toy work again. But there was more to do, a lot more. Once the engine warmed up, he flushed the oil, cleaned the fuel filter, and tightened up everything that needed attention. On the second start, it purred, solid, confident, a machine with memory. But there was a smell, the unmistakable scent of time, musty, stale, lingering in the seats and vents. Years of abandonment leave their mark. So he reached for his go-to fix, Gootway's antibacterial odor eliminator. With the AC running in recirculation mode and the car sealed shut, the canister worked its magic. While the car detoxed inside, he lifted the hood once more. And there it was, a 2.5-liter inline-six, naturally aspirated, 129 horsepower engine. No turbos, no gadgets, just honest, beautiful engineering. The kind of motor that hums when it's happy. And today it was happy. This wasn't just any Benz, it was special. A manual transmission, long wheelbase, 7 seats, and yes, even the rare secretary seat in the rear. The dashboard was pristine, untouched by sun or time. The original radio still lit up, whispering echoes of the past. Then came the deep clean. The car hadn't been washed in over a decade. Dirt was embedded in every crevice, but he didn't rush it. He treated it like a restoration, not a chore. At his local garage, a kind-hearted lady handled the interior detailing, gently brushing, wiping, and polishing until the inside felt new again. Meanwhile, he tackled the outside, removing grease, wiping off years of forgotten grime, and rinsing off the old paint to see what still shined. Under the hood, he replaced the oil with W123 full synthetic, topped up the coolant, and adjusted a belt that had been whining too loud. That fixed the last mechanical issue. Now came the art. With a special degreaser and steam machine, he attacked the engine bay. Years of buildup melted away, revealing clean lines and proud components. The hood was stained and pitted, so he polished it by hand. Then he went full detail mode, buffing the body, cleaning every corner, wiping the wheel covers until they gleamed. He even skipped a holiday celebration just to stay home and finish the job. "Yeah," he chuckled, "my wife's gonna kill me." He knew what he was trading, a dinner, a day off, for something deeply personal. But we knew it was worth it. 2 hours later, he stepped back. The car was no longer forgotten. It had been restored, not just to working condition, but to dignity. The final touch was a brand new Mercedes hood badge, shining like a crown. He tested the lights, the turn signals, the wipers. Everything worked. With care, he backed her into his personal garage, right next to other restored legends. She was no longer alone. After hours of scrubbing, polishing, and wrenching, this old Mercedes is finally back where it belongs, running smooth and shining bright. If you enjoyed this restoration, hit that like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more satisfying builds. I've got plenty more rust waiting in the garage. See you in the next one.